Right, I think that is recording now. Hello everyone,
Decent.
tuning in again. I'm here with Robbo Zini this time.
Hello, boys. All right.
So yeah, thanks first to everyone who's watched the first episode of The Nelson. That's on my channel at the moment. Thanks to everyone who's given it love, and please, if you haven't already, please press that subscribe button because it helps us lot who are doing it grow. But yeah, I'm here with Rob to react to some big news that's come out today about Chris
Hello.
Wilder. Thought we'd branch out. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird one. I mean, I was kind of thinking about it today, and I thought going back to the first video you done with the boys with Norwich, and when you guys were mentioning about the Project Restart, they were one of the teams that really suffered from the Project Restart, and when as soon as that happened, they had hopes of maybe getting European competition, weirdly enough, in their first season, but ever since then, Chris Wilder hasn't done a great job, and I don't know whether it was an issue of not really investing too much in the summer or not, but
Yeah.
I'm I'm quite surprised how bad this squad has performed this season.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think it has been obviously a really poor season. So in that respect, it's not so much of a shock, but it did really surprise me when I've seen he's expected to leave. Obviously, there's been loads of different reports, but it looks like that is going to be the case. He will not be Sheffield United manager next season,
Mm.
and possibly not even this weekend. We'll have to see what their statement is. I feel like he's built something really special there. Obviously, I'm not a Sheffield United fan, but over the last, they weren't in a great position. Just a few years ago, they were like in League One, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
Completely through his own ways. I think they've obviously most of their players have been sort of British and Irish. It's been a lot of domestic transfers from Sheffield United. They've done really well. I mean, he's put in a system that's worked, and now I think whoever takes over, I'm obviously not a Sheffield United fan, but I do feel a bit sorry for the next guy who's going to take over because I can see if it's not going well quickly, the fans are going to turn quickly because he's not going to be Chris,
yeah.
is he?
That's the thing, yeah, and it's a bit like the Bournemouth story, really. Like with Eddie Howe, that was the way they saw Eddie Howe was the way Sheffield United fans saw Chris Wilder. This manager who got them all the way to the Premier League, kind of a bit like like we'll go on FIFA career mode and do one with like, oh, I don't know, Wimbledon or something like that, and have the dream of going to Premier League. Well, they actually done it in real life, from League One, League Two, all the way up to the Prem, and he's done a fantastic job. And like you compare the team in their first season to like Leeds. Well, it's a
Yeah.
completely different team. These homegrown names are like names you want to see in the championship more than anything, like Lundstrom, Jack Stevens, players like that. But they've actually like really performed against the top six sides like United and Chelsea. It's been weird to see them now go now perform bad, but like that first season they were up there. I don't know about you. I was really jealous as a Norwich fan because
Yeah, because they'd
how
adjusted.
well they
We
were doing.
just didn't. We just looked hope. Well, they had a system that worked, and like this year, they've added. I feel like the transfers. Well, that's something we'll just quickly talk about. I think because the transfers have been expensive. They've been
Mm,
brave. They've been a bit risky. And they haven't worked, have they?
no.
Like, and as that core group now that they have, like Stevens, Egan, you'd think some of them players are going to be maybe aging a little bit. They've been there quite a while. In terms of additions now, it's a big sort of summer and a big few years ahead for Sheffield United to recruit.
Yeah, without a doubt, and yeah, like some of these signings haven't happened. I mean, one that started at that done well to begin with, was Ethan Ampadu, on loan from Chelsea, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah, he started off well, and Sander Berg, he was well, obviously signed last season in
yeah,
January, I believe.
a lot of
He was Yeah, he was class, but there was certain individuals that just weren't getting this. Like it's becoming a time now where they are starting to age. Billy Sharp, he's quite old now, and
yeah,
don't get me wrong, he got brought on a lot last season off the bench, but um, yeah, you kind of want some younger players in there.
yeah. I think if
Yeah,
we look a bit at their sort of striker options, like Brewster, he was over 20 million.
yeah,
McBurney was 20 million. Mousset from Bournemouth, he was about 10 million. Oliver Burke from West Brom, I know that was a swap. That was a swap deal a bit, wasn't it?
yeah,
I think who went the other way? I think Callum Robinson went the other way, didn't he?
yeah.
He was
Robinson did.
and he was something they'd already wasted some money on Sheffield United, but then he went to West Brom but quite a lot. And Luke Freeman, I know he's an attacking mid, but he was about 5 million. I feel like a lot of these signings, quite a lot of money and not a lot of goals produced for this season. I
No,
feel
you're right. Yeah, and that big one there was Brewster. I mean, when I saw that 20 million, I thought that's that 20 million as a figure you definitely have to spend in the Premier League. But someone like Ryan Brewster was a big move from them. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. And what I do think though, like because I don't know if you've seen anything. What I've seen suggestions of, maybe this sacking's a bit less to do with results. I'm sure that does play a part. Is it to do with the fact that Sheffield United want to change their sort of structure a bit and place a director of football in charge of transfers? Because I remember there was a documentary, I think it was on Bleacher Report a few seasons ago, that followed Wilder doing his transfer business on the deadline day, and he was very. I know they had a head of football operations, but Wilder was
mm.
very involved in the transfers. And do you think maybe there's been a bit of disagreement? Sheffield United want to do a bit more overseas transfers, which, by the way, could be quite challenging to do in the Championship now, due to the new sort of Brexit rules. I know you can still sign players from abroad; it's just a lot trickier, and it would probably mean that they'll have to spend some money on some sort of proven European worldwide players as well. So, do you think that sort of comes into it, the fact that Sheffield United want to change their recruitment, and it's maybe a bit different from sort of Chris Wilder's transfer strategy?
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely, and yeah, like you said, with the Brexit rules coming in, I'm not too sure how they will apply and affect clubs yet, but yeah, I think one person that done it well was Fergie. He very much done it well, controlling the transfers and also managing the team. But when you've got people there who can recruit players, it kind of releases a lot of stress off your shoulders. I mean, the Premier League's a hard enough job as it is managing each week in out, but recruiting itself is really hard. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you've got to also like go to these countries, review them, actually see them in person, see how they play. I mean, like videos are good enough, but seeing an actual whole game is obviously you get better research out of that. But yeah, I think I mean for us it's worked brilliantly. All these German players came over, and as a club I'm really proud of the work we've done, and the business we've done as well as Norwich. Like with our recruitment team, like Pookie on a free, that is some of the best business we've done in forever. Um, like yeah, if they can maybe structure a model like that, then maybe they can perhaps come up to the Premier League one day and hopefully survive again.
Yeah, I feel like that is something, and that's going to be, as we've spoken about, the recruitment is going to be very different for a lot of clubs, like Norwich and like,
Mm.
for example, Brentford. Maybe I don't know if they're going to be up there, or I think
Yeah,
Norwich and Huddersfield are Championship examples of teams that have used the sort of overseas method. Because a lot of teams will use domestic transfer method because it's clubs in England. It's obviously easier to get to the games and everything. But through the what we've seen from Norwich and Brentford as well is that you can get good value from abroad, but obviously that's now all going to change because of the point system that's now come in. So the players you now need to sign need to have either a good amount of international appearances. They need to have been playing at sort of a high European level, so like in the Bundesliga or French league. I feel like it's opportunities for, that's the thing. Whenever any sort of problem or stump arises, there are opportunities that come from it, and there's also some major disadvantages. And I think that's how you can maybe sum up this Chris Wilder leaving story. It's going to be hard, I think, for Sheffield United to build again. I think it will be hard if Farker ever leaves us and joins another club. It will be the similar for us. Whoever now comes in has a huge job on their hands, but the opportunities are that they can now restructure, get a different model, and maybe recruit some different kinds of players and build something completely different. So I feel like
yeah.
you can weigh it up.
Yeah, massively. It's like a kind of like a fresh new start now, isn't it? Whenever you get a manager,
Mm.
and hopefully, I mean, touch wood, we've seen it before, with teams. They'll have this what do they call it, a double curse relegation. Like Sunderland have gone through it, where they've gone down to the Championship and then literally been relegated from that to League One. So I hope that doesn't happen because
Yeah.
um. This is a good historic club, is Sheffield United. Like I kind of, one day I want to see Sunderland back up there because that's a big name club.
Mm.
So hopefully they do come back and like you say, like changing the model that could help massively. And I hope it would make me feel proud as a Norwich fan if they do use us as inspiration, as a
Yeah.
like a model to follow.
Yeah, I know you're right. As you said, I mean, there are some big clubs now in League One, and
Mm.
obviously they don't obviously the footballing world in a way don't care if you're a big club. I mean, it's just sad to see some down there. I mean, also yeah, you've got Sunderland, Portsmouth, and yeah, Sheffield Wednesday could be going down. I think there's a club in East
Yeah.
Anglia down there as well. But that
Yeah, we don't need to
we
mention
don't
that.
even need to make touch on them.
They're,
But
they're
yeah,
not relevant anymore. Yeah.
not relevant. Yeah, we can see now bigger clubs go down there, and it's not always easy to get out because, as you can see, the game isn't played on how big someone's club is or anything anymore. It is completely dependent. Obviously, I don't think Sheffield United will be that bad. I mean, Sunderland were a very sort of rare case where they
Yeah.
were, they had basically all their squad wanted to leave after, and they had such high wages. They were completely owner funded, and when the owner pulled all his money, they were just left in a huge spot of bother. Obviously, we don't know about if that Sheffield United are going to be backed. My guess is there's a plan coming in, so there will be moves from
Mhm.
Sheffield United outs and ins. But in terms of Chris Wilder going, I think it's going to be a tough one for Sheffield United fans to stomach. And I think obviously some of the footballing world have reacted and seen it as quite bad. I can kind of see why he's been sacked because of what I've said. If the structure is going to change, he probably wasn't best for it, and the results have been poor. But I
Yeah.
can certainly understand why people are frustrated by it because it's obviously such a historic person there. Had his battles with Norwich over the years as well, some really good battles where they came out on top. I seem to remember
Yeah.
one where we came out on top when there was a bit of a rant about our bus being late, wasn't it? I think that was it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
There are
mean,
quite
yeah.
some good battles over the years. So you know,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see. Obviously, it looks like we won't be having that battle because of we're not up yet, but we're hoping we're going to go up, and I can't see Sheffield United
Yeah. No,
next stage.
it's that.
So
Yeah. It's a big ask, isn't it? And I think they're so. I remember in January we had 21 points, didn't we, or something like that? And I believe
yeah,
they're actually they haven't reached the 21 point mark yet. I think are they on like 40? They're in between 10 and 20, I believe. I can't
yeah,
remember.
they're not
Uh,
on 20. So yeah, there's a chance they could get higher than we did, but I don't. They might.
yeah,
So
it's
that
mm,
is how it is at the moment. I don't on the top of my head it's 17 points, but I'm not sure if that's right.
yeah. No, I think you might be right. Yeah. I remember it being 17 points and thereabouts. But yeah, it's a big ask now. And yeah, maybe him leaving is a good, like bringing someone else in, maybe a younger manager that we've not really seen before that can sometimes work out brilliantly. What one that comes into my head is the Cowley brothers. That obviously they done brilliantly for Lincoln, didn't they? And I know I actually saw him on Soccer AM of all places. I think it was in January or December. He said these managers normally have breaks, don't they? Like Eddie Howe's currently having a break away from it, but I think he's had a long enough break now. The Cowley brothers, or I believe his name's Daniel Cowley, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, Danny Cowley is
Yeah,
the lead brother, the one. But yeah,
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So maybe he can like take him on to the championship next season, and like it'd be great to see them finish top or something like that. And hopefully, after that we'll be playing with them in the Premier League. We'll stay up and everything like that.
yeah,
And
that'd be
yeah,
good. And I feel like
yeah,
obviously every Eddie Howe seems to be being brought up every single time there's a manager got an Eddie Howe is there. I'm really interested to see where Eddie Howe's next job's going to be. I think the favourite. I think he's because he's at the under 23s in the moment. I think Paul Heckingbottom is currently quite a favourite, and that would be a really interesting
that'd
appointment.
be yeah, that would yeah. I was gonna
He's
say
not great with Leeds and not great with Hibernian. I think he was. How was he at Barnsley? I don't think he was awful at Barnsley, was he?
no, no, I
So
can't. Yeah, I think he did it right there.
obviously, if I might be wrong. I'm not really a follower of Paul Heckingbottom's managerial career, but I feel like that would be just a caretaker thing. I wonder if they will be looking at maybe someone, as you've said, like Cowley, maybe a bit more someone who has already proven themselves a bit more and maybe young and exciting. Maybe Neil Lennon would come back to English
That'd
football.
be yeah, that'd be good to see, and a big challenge for him as well. Especially like the Celtic job didn't really go to plan as well as people said it would.
Mm.
I was gonna say, I'll ask you a question. If you think say if they got relegated last season with us in the Premier and they finished like 19th or something like that, do you think they would have sacked him then? Because obviously, like the expectation for Sheffield United to stay up with their investment was probably a bit higher than ours because we didn't invest that
Yeah,
much. But do you think they would have sacked him then or not?
good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they
There's
would have
yeah,
done. But again, we can't say because obviously it is just it didn't happen. But maybe you're right. Maybe there was such a response on how well they did last season. The expectations went up massively. I haven't really
yeah,
thought about that, and that's quite a good point actually.
Yeah, because that's the thing for me. Because I feel like the start of this season, the board went, okay, you done brilliantly in the first
Yeah.
season. Project Restart didn't really help anyone. It didn't help us particularly. This season we've got high hopes of finishing like mid-table or top 10, something like that. And obviously it hasn't gone to plan at all. And he's decided to leave.
No, yeah, I
Yeah.
completely get that. So, yeah, overall, is there anything else you would like to say, Robbie? Is there anything like
Um,
anything else regarding this or anything else?
I just well yeah I honestly just hope they do well and I'm 90% sure they won't stay up now
Yeah,
and they'll go down and hopefully they come back up because they're a great club and in that 18-19 season when we went up they were always amongst our tails, weren't they? Like they were
yeah,
kind of always there and then eventually towards the end it was settled that they would be finishing playoffs and it was between us and Leeds really. No, sorry,
yeah,
opposite way around,
yeah.
wasn't it?
A
Yeah,
team, a certain team slipped up.
yeah,
Quite
yeah, that's
famous.
it. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
part.
I was gonna say Leeds actually did do a Leeds and bottle it for a second. But yeah, no, they were like constantly amongst our tails, and it was awkward to see. Um, but yeah, no, luckily in the end we just got the better of them. But I'm very surprised and jealous of last season how well they
Yeah,
did, and another club who really like suffered from Project Restart because when I heard when I was listening to your podcast, the first one you put out with our Project Restart really affected us because I felt like we were coming in the right motion after the Spurs FA Cup game. That really would have gave the boys the boost. And I can't remember who we had in the league after that, but I know that was our last game that we played, wasn't it?
mm,
Um, but yeah, I feel like that Project Restart, maybe they could have finished in a Europa League place or got seventh, or something like that. But it's sad to see, and that Project Restart did, you know,
yeah.
um,
It was
collapse Sheffield
difficult. It
United.
was a lot very difficult for us. I remember how difficult
Yeah,
it was.
that's it. Yeah, and especially that I remember. I mean, we're talking about Norwich, and that's absolutely fine. Sheffield United were done with. But anyway, that Man United game in the FA Cup, I felt like if we were all there at Carrow Road, like cheering them on, maybe we would have got a goal because we looked really threatening in the extra
It
time.
just showed that we had a few shining lights. For example, like Cantwell, he did
Yeah,
well in that game, didn't he? And he was the one who I think he got the goal, didn't he? Yeah, he got the
yeah, he
goal.
was.
And
Yeah,
but we didn't have like loads and loads and loads of talent on our bench. And they with their subs that they were allowed to bring on in extra time, they kept just bringing on players and bringing
I
on.
know.
And eventually we just cracked. We just right at the end just
Just
lost it.
yeah,
And it was a shame because we actually were so resilient in that game. We played really well, but yeah, as far as that. But no, it's good that we've not just spoken about Norwich in this one. The videos about Chris Wilder, and it's good to I want to sort of speak about other teams and how they're doing. I know you can obviously on your channel you do quite a bit about sort of other teams, don't you?
yeah, I do, and it's I kind of I feel it's all right to talk about Norwich because whenever we talk about Norwich, and you'll be the same because you're a Norwich fan like me, you'll relate it to Norwich's situation or a
Yeah,
situation they've been in, but because that's the club we know most about, but yeah, I try and do as much as I can with other Premier League teams, and like player that should be sold from each club or best player this season, and yeah, quickly having a look at how they do. And yeah, from that research, I just remember Sheffield United's Sander Berg being quite a good name at the start of the season, and Ampadu, but not really many to pick from. At this point, it's sad to see.
yeah. I think McGoldrick's always one that I feel like has the ability. He can try.
Yeah,
I just don't think. Yeah, it's not. It's overall, it's a bit similar to what our squad was last time in the Premier League. Hopefully, it's improving for this upcoming season if we do get there. I don't think it's a complete. I don't think it's a Premier League squad. I think they've got
no.
maybe a couple of players who can play there, ability wise, and maybe a few. But overall, there's just too much. There's just too many players of that less ability, and it's cruel when you're playing at such an elite level. You just have to be a little bit better.
You do, yeah, yeah. And when they first came out, Sheffield United, I remember they did invest really nicely. They got Lies most save from Bournemouth, didn't they? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some other players. It's like trying to
Yeah.
think back like from a year ago now, but they did really well in the transfer market. They bought one guy from overseas, and it was quite a big name. I can't remember who it was, but
It was
yeah,
Sunderberg. He was the overseas one.
he was. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there was another one. There was like maybe he was on loan, but it was kind of a big name. Oh, I can't remember now, but it's gone. But they did do really good business in that first season.
Great, yeah. And in terms of that, so yeah, should we call it there? for
I'll come
today.
out there. Yeah, yeah.
We'll
But
call it
best of
there.
luck for Sheffield United.
Yeah, yeah, we will obviously do more in the future. Obviously, Rob would love to get involved in our podcast in the future. This is a short sort of video rather than the long hour-long waffle that happened the other day. But yeah, Rob would love to be involved, which is great to hear. So we just thought we'd do a little video together today. You can check him out at Rob Ozini. So
Cheers, guys. Yeah.
there'll be a link in the description if you want to go see a bit more of him talking about his stuff. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching and see you soon.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.